So now that you have your ground pad in place, let's start filling it in with some cool stuff, since you'll probably be using this to do some landscaping. Um, okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is fill it in with some kind of a uniform background color or texture. In this case, we're going to use some grass. And the way we do that is we'll go to this paint bucket thing here. But before we do that, we got to choose what paint bucket material we're going to be applying. So we need to expose the materials window. And to do that, we go to Windows, Materials. There it is. And we choose our category. We'll say Vegetation, and we'll choose Grass here. And we'll click on this. And what we'll notice is that this doesn't really look like grass. And the reason is because this, the main window of Sketchup that we're seeing here doesn't allow you to do really sophisticated rendering. That's happens in third-party products, which we're going to learn about later. Because this stuff here, this toolbar we see here from Aerial Vision, is actually a renderer, and we'll see later that when we use this renderer, it makes things look much cooler, and you can actually see things like the vegetative textures. But nonetheless, we've gone ahead and we have made this grassy surface. Now we can go ahead and start putting some features in. So we might want to do something simple like put a driveway. Maybe an easy way to do that would be with a rectangle. So we could go here till our little node changes color, and we could build, say, a little driveway that goes maybe across the entire way. Click it once, and then we can go ahead and go back to our paint bucket and change the material this time to something like ground cover, and we can choose something grayish, and we'll choose crushed rock, and that's what we get. Now, one thing is you might actually, in some cases, want to raise or lower the grade of a road or any surface really that you're creating on this kind of a landscape. And the way to do that is again with the push-pull tool. And you click on that, and you can raise things up or lower them, and you can control that again using this little distance thing here. So now we have put in a road or a little driveway, and we have some nice grass. Let's try really quickly a water feature. And we got to navigate into place here. So there's a lot of ways we could do this. We could create a circle, and notice now I have this advanced toolbar on the left, and the way I got that was going to View Toolbars, and then I chose the large tool set, so you get more tools this way. But let's just say I decide this time I'm going to do a freehand. Because I want it to look a little bit natural, not so much perfectly geometric. So this is going to be a nice little pond I'm going to draw, and it's not really going to look like, it maybe look like a peanut or something. And I'll close it here. It's not perfectly drawn. I could improve it, but I'll keep it there for now. And I'm going to go ahead and give it watercolor. So I'm going to click on water, sparkling, and I will use the paint bucket again. And now I have a nice little water feature there. So now that I have a couple of nice features here on my canvas, I'm going to try to make some slightly more complicated features here. And the first thing I'm going to try to do here is a walking path. And I'm going to try to make a path that sort of meanders a little bit and is a little bit nonlinear. So that's going to require a slightly more complicated tool here, rather than just using a line or a rectangle. So I'm going to use the freehand tool over here. But before I draw on this, I need to make sure that I'm in plan view, that is top-down view, because otherwise I'll end up potentially with lines that go up into outer space. So to do that, I can either use the orbit tool, but probably the best bet is just to go to Camera, Standard Views, Top. So now I'm looking straight down. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that my pencil tool snaps to the edge here, and then I'm going to draw sort of a nice meandering path, and it will end when it snaps to the other side. So now, how am I going to get this to be to have some width? Well, the way I do it is I click on this arrow button, and I click on this to make it blue, selected, and then I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to click on Offset. And then what you'll see, I'm going to click on this, and now, aha, I've created an exact copy, basically. And I sort of pull it out, and that determines the width. So I click here. Now, all is not perfect. The first thing I got to do is deal with this dangle. So I click here, and it's already split it. You see that? And I just hit delete, and it's gone. Okay, the next thing I have to do is deal with the fact that this didn't snap all the way here. So the easiest thing to do is really just to click here with the pencil tool, and then click there, and then I'm done. So now I have a polygon, which is great. And what I can do is I can fill this in, and we will know that it was a successful polygon if it gets filled in. So we're going to go to the paint bucket, and we'll choose sand, let's say, for our cover. And I click on it, and lo and behold, it is filled in. So that worked very nicely.